Hello, hi everyone. Good morning. It's Jason Schwartz here at the Neutral Zone. Good morning, everyone. Aloha. This is Jason Schwartz here at the Neutral Zone, MauiNeutralZone.com, on YouTube /@DreamMaui1. We are on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. Simulcast on Maui Community Media, Channel 55 on cable. And most important for the future of all of this is Maui Stream, the app that Akaku Maui Community Media, which is the umbrella on top of all this public broadcasting. We are the public access channel. And we have the three channels, public education, government, all thrown into one thing, and it's gave their money from cable subscribers. Numbers of subscribers have gone down. So we're going to be creating independent fundraising things through our organization, Dreammakers Foundation, Maui Arts and Music Association, to help continue to fund public access TV. And we need to do this now and into the future. And I have a whole economic model that involves art, music, cultural promotion, educating people about environmental solutions, and a whole way of using it as a marketing tool where we can get money on everything going on and put them into solutions, put our people to work in art and music, put our programs out there, promote that public access television exists, promote that Maui has art, music, and culture, in spite of the thoughts that the world may have had that Lahaina was the only Maui thing. And, they heard that thing about don't come early on, and people still use that as an excuse. But we want people coming because we are rich in art, music, culture, environmental solutions, and we are self-sustainable, including our public access television. Our voices are the community. We are the voice and voices of Maui. There's a new radio station. They call themselves the Talk of Maui, and, they have a lot of money, and they're out there, and they got a big signal. They talk. We're the voice, your voice. If you are within the sound of my voice, you can come on public access television and say what you think. Good, bad, indifferent. That's what public access is. And with the changes happening at the federal level and grants being evaluated for whether they're seeing this result now, isn't that unbelievable? Well, we're going to cut this off because we can't really measure the results. We're talking about generational change that we're hoping to have with many of these programs and moving things forward, but someone's hitting the bottom line. Who's that? I don't want to identify them by name. They like to keep saying the Democrats. The Democrats are doing it. The Democrats. And we hear some people talk about Rhino. Oh, they're Republicans in name only. All that garbage. I could use more descriptive words, but it's garbage. It's not what is going on. It is not what can go on, because we locally can take control of our own economy, and we can make this place work. Here's something that doesn't work. I think very important. You guys that were here last week, thank you for coming back again. I had a gentleman sitting across from me named James Hutchins. He's, mid-50s, late 50s. For 35 or 36, I think he said 30-something years, he's been homeless by design. He used to be working many things, a sound tech and stuff at the Mac years ago. He does automobile repair stuff on the side. In fact, he's kept me in my automobile through the many years that the regular auto shops, I don't know, I think these guys are just, there's so few mechanics that are certified, I guess, that they can maintain and hold these high prices. So He's kept me in car. His mother used to live in the apartment complex that I'm living in. Anyway, I'm not going to recount the whole story now because we have a new part of the story. If I look a little bleary-eyed, it's only because I've been romancing two girls, two puppies, two young ladies, Betsy and Beauty, James Hutchins' dogs. Why do I have them? I get a call yesterday that James is down in the Cams, I think it's Camp 3 Beach, which is where he's been staying, and you know what? His leg in one day has swollen up, and when he showed me that was happening, I asked, do you have anyone around here? We have crowded parks. Remember, this was Sunday. Crowded parks, no one helping him. He obviously knows very few people, some of the people that come regularly, some of the other homeless people, but they were nowhere nearby. So I drove down there to take him into emergency, knowing I would have to watch his dogs and knowing that I'd also have to take everything he's got left after everything he owned, all his ID, his automobile, his everything, his tools were stolen or taken, but stolen after an incident with the police that ended up on a street off Keona Kai called Kauhale. I'm not giving in front of whatever address because I don't know what happened. 28-something Kauhale Street is where the incident, where he was arrested and taken into custody for terroristic threatening. Those are words that we've heard recently because that was the call that we heard that the police officers went out on Wednesday when Officer O, Suzanne O, blessings to her and family, she was shot and murdered by someone in terroristic threatening. So the day before, 2 days before that, they arrested James. And again, he woke up in the emergency room with handcuffs on and didn't remember what happened since the beginning. Someone attacked him in the middle of the day in his car. He was sitting in the driver's seat after he'd gotten back from the airport 20 minutes before. So whatever happened blanked out his memory, and we're trying to figure it out. Well, let's see. Where's his car? The police didn't secure his car, which was up on Kauhale Street. How did they get from here to there? No one knows. How can it be that in the middle of the day, nobody saw it? Nobody tracked it? They didn't track it in the park? What? They didn't track it up on Kauhale Street? Someone called the police. Something had to have happened. Trying to get information has been difficult, if not impossible so far. This guy's in the park. He needs to get police records. He needs to get hospital records. He needs to have some accounting. We need to get the videos from all the police officers involved. When I went with James to the police station last Wednesday night, he came to me where I live in my parking lot, and I immediately got on it, got him a phone to use, one of my phones. And when we went to the police station and we filled out a report about a stolen car. Why? Because they left it there and it wasn't there. So the officer came down, took that report. Haven't heard anything this week. Haven't had anyone of you out in the public calling him. 808-385-7197 is a new number that was set up at T-Mobile on my phone, and James even posted on Facebook about this, but he did it under my account, which I stopped. But, it confused people I know what the heck was going on. And now I have dogs in my car because they kept James overnight. When I brought him to the hospital, they agreed. Wow, look at this leg. In one night, it swelled up. I don't know exactly medical, right? But I've seen that before. So what do I think it is? Infection, a swelling of the area. The whole leg is swelled. Is it maybe some kind of bite from something from sleeping outside? Maybe. Is it maybe MRSA? Maybe. We don't know. He's in on antibiotics. They kept him overnight. No idea. But his two dogs, remember, Sunday night, what are you going to do that? The hospital said, I'm sorry, they can't come in. They're service dogs, but they're emotional support animals. They're not medical support animals, so they can't be here. So here we are. No one to take the dogs. So guess who? Well, I guess you know. It was me. And they're beautiful young ladies, Betsy and Beauty, two incredibly well-trained service dogs. So trained, you say, what are they like? Trained for some show or something? No, but I guess they grew up and have grown up with James, and they know when he says up top what that means. Stay here and don't move. Go over there. Do this. He's really got him trained. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. He's in the hospital because, when he came in with the police and they're stitching up his head, they didn't really see there was something going on with his toe that happened with the police, he told me. So that toe maybe has there's a line of red going down from there all the way up his leg to just below the knee. So talk about a crazy situation. So this all began as my show. I didn't go out looking for this situation. It came at me, but as many will tell you, Jason doesn't like to sit on his hands. If there's something going on in front of him where he can be of help, he tries to help. I hope that's a motto that all of you out there, if you're my listeners, you know that I'm a broken record, because I believe that if the world would learn how to cooperate better and help each other better, we'd solve a lot of problems. And maybe, just maybe, this is going to wake the police up. I like the police. They've been nothing but good to me, and I watched them in all kinds of situations, and I've never had any issues. But wake them up. If they don't clean up the drug and crime problem in the CAM parks, CAM 1, 2, 3, that's Kameole 1, Kameole 2, Kameole 3 park, and we're going north. What about the park above there and above there? Kihei needs more addressing of the challenges that happen because of the rise in crime and all that's happening from this houselessness that has gotten out of hand. But during the day, in the middle of the afternoon on a Monday, to be attacked in your car, you don't know what happened then for a few hours, and you wake up, and then your car isn't there. It's a mile away. Someone saw this. Someone knows about this. Please come forward. Help support the police and us, because we all want the same thing: no crime. Last night, where I live in Kahului, at one of these senior housing things, my neighbor called at 6 in the morning because they didn't see my car in the parking stall. I parked outside the property because the dogs aren't allowed on the property, right? 2 dogs. So they were outside. He called me because his car was stolen. The brazen nature of crime that can come into a lit parking lot that has security driving through, you see, predictably at XY time, and they somehow, people are watching, somehow things are going on, somehow someone jumped a car or got in and found a spare key, God knows, and this guy lost his car in a secure, watched place. Things are, I don't know if we're allowed to say, I can say bull, and I know I'd like to add the last piece, because we don't have conscientious watching people who vary their schedule, that aren't predictable. We need more coverage. Well, we need more people. Well, we don't have enough pay. We have less. We're 25% down on police officer. We're trying to cover all kinds of things in all kinds of ways. It's tough. And that's why we as citizens, I'm anything but pro go get them and take them into jail. But I am into helping. because I believe that if you help people, you can eliminate a lot of these problems and isolate where the real problems may be. And one of them is we don't have enough housing for marginal situations for people. And the people that are out in the parks and around, all around, may not be the ones that are doing the stealing. Or maybe some of them are. But surely when someone at 1 or 2 in the afternoon is attacked in the middle of a park with all kinds of people around, even when there's no tourists around, there are people in the park. There's eyes that know exactly what happened. There are people that probably know every point in this story. We heard that all the tow companies, nobody has seen the car towed. There was a BMW convertible, same color, but his is a Chrysler Sebring, that they was spotted in some lot, not even a county lot. No one found it, but we've been looking around and haven't seen it. So many people say that car's probably been in pieces somewhere. But who would do it? Whoever has the balls, the brazen notion that during the day, if this guy was out of the way with the police, someone took his car, took everything he's got, every piece of ID, everything, and left him with his 2 dogs and nothing to be homeless. And when I ask for help, and I ask authorities for help, they're not coming. They're not reaching out. I sent a copy of my interview from last week that I did here with Hutchins to someone in the mayor's office. I sent it to the Maui News. I sent it to Maui Now. I sent it, where else did I send it? Honolulu Advertiser. I sent it to, don't you get tired? I mean, I'm here at Public Access TV. I did a show. I sent it to our Maui Daily. They don't need to prepare a 5-minute story, but I must tell you, our current local news, much of it doesn't get covered on the other newscasts, and no one thinks it's important enough to take a review of what I sent in and get on it. And now this guy is potentially going to lose his foot or toes. That's why I ran, to try to help him. I want to say a shout out to Lisa Darcy from Share Your Mana. Many of you know Lisa Darcy. You've seen her on all kinds of shows on the news. You see her in the paper. They say, oh, no, she can't go in to see what's happening with these people. She's helping advocate things. Lisa Darcy's a champion. You all can be champions. You don't have to be Lisa Darcy. You can do anything and help. Anything to make it better. When someone says, Jason, why are you doing this? It's overwhelming you. Well, I don't know exactly the words because I never went to Bible school when I was growing up. I'm a Jewish kid. We learned a bigger, different kind of but we know that it says, treat someone like you treat yourself or your family, because we really are. We are a family of one. And even if we weren't, what more satisfaction could one have in life than helping someone? We can all accumulate and think we're doing something that later, someday, our kids, our grandkids are going to be happy because we accumulated all this money. And when we die, man, those guys are set. Oh, yeah? Set for what? To think that they don't need to be working and participating in life, to thinking that they have and others don't, and that's somehow okay? They don't. And when someone says, well, sharing the wealth, that's a very socialistic idea. There is plenty of wealth. There is plenty of wealth to handle everything we need to do. And here in me, I'm now going to be rekindling my real estate career. And my whole thing is based on the fact, whatever and whoever is buying or selling real estate, if you go through me and I take 60% of my earnings. That's the maximum I can give by law. They won't let me give it all away because I don't want to lose my housing. So 60% of what I make, I'm giving away. Just so happens I'm giving it away to a nonprofit. Yeah, it's my nonprofit, but there are others in there. There's guards on this money, and we're going to be giving money and activity in art and music and culture and regenerate Maui. In fact, that's the LLC that I formed. Regenerate Maui by promoting its art and music and culture and educating about environmental solutions and implementing them here. First of all, we get to get the benefits of that. And so if you look closer, you'll see that's what I've been about. It's amazing to me. Half of my life. You know, when I first got here and people thought I wasn't local, okay. I don't know if I'm local now, but I've been here half of my life. 37 years. I came with the good intentions. It's 37 years later. The people that are in power, for the most part, are sleeping. They do not know how to handle this. When we have here we have on Labor Day, they're going to do, get rid of the billionaires. We don't want you here. You've seen that. I don't particularly like people using and abusing our place. And if we have specific issues, great. But personally, I'd like to meet with those billionaires individually and collectively. So I have an open invitation to Jeff Bezos and his beautiful new wife, Lauren, and an invitation to Larry Ellison or his son, and an invitation to Mark Zuckerberg or Peter Thiel. Who are these people? Billionaires. They're billionaires that have the capacity to do anything they want pretty well because they got the money. The idea of creating a fund that can supplement the development of low-cost equity-sharing housing using money from people that don't need the money. It's be sitting on their balance sheet, and yes, they have obligations, but it's all secured by all the property that we got and all the building that is happening at a time when it's needed. Wouldn't that be a way of having the billionaires contributing to the success of our continuing the needs that we have here on Maui? That's why I say we are the neutral zone. We're anything but neutral, but we are here to be that neutral place. If I had Putin and Zelensky here, first of all, they don't want to meet. Putin doesn't like Zelensky. And so we had Donald Trump go up to Alaska, make this big show, and on American soil hosted Vladimir Putin. They talked, no Zelensky. Then a few days later, all these people meeting at the White House, and Putin says, I don't want to meet him. I don't like him. So what is Donald Trump doing? He's spending his energy cleaning up cities and bringing in National Guard troops and arming them and alarming everyone across the country. They're becoming a Marxist or Maoist state and that the military is going to take over. Really well spent time, Donald. I am afraid I do not have a lot of good to say about Donald Trump. You know, even when the ideas have long-range vision of being good, there are ways to do it and there are ways that aren't. We've seen, yes, the Democrats and yes, the Republicans shelve tough issues. We've seen them do it here. 25 years, 30 years, I've been hearing them talking about we need more affordable housing. We need to make it a priority. We need to work with the state to get more housing. We need to do. And what did they do? Far shy of what's needed. Rick Bisson now as mayor is doing the very best, fast-tracking the very best. And look, I don't have my hand on the checkbook, nor do I have my hand on all the information's needed. But I do know you don't alienate billionaires who you could show the value their equity can grow too. Do you care if a billionaire gets billions of dollars richer because he helped create the affordable housing program that can be equity sharing, and over time they do their part. They provide the equity so people can do this at an affordable rate and rebuild the Maui economy and its people. That's a way to talk to someone. Not, we don't want you here. Yes, we don't like certain things, but I don't like belligerent actions. Over the years, I have not joined groups not because I don't have opinions, but because I am interested in solutions. And solutions take no barriers, no walls, no reasons not to get together and find out what we have in common. And the more we recognize what we have in common, the more solutions are going to arrive. And they don't always take money. They take heart. Now, maybe some people, I remember growing up where they said to me, well, you have to start thinking from your head, not your heart. I even got smacked for that. Well, I've grown through it, and I'm still here. I still believe I want to lead with my heart, evaluate with my head, but my decisions are made from my heart. And I don't think I want to change that. I don't think it's important to only do it like they're doing it like it's some business sheet. You can't decide that this generation that's growing up now, you're doing it. This generation that's doing it are going to have higher and higher prices. They won't know about owning a home. We're going to have so many people, we're going to have them renting, and the prices are high. Oh, well, we'll find some system. We get rid of the mental health institutions. That was in the 80s. By the way, that wasn't a Democrat. God knows. And everyone knows politics is really about special interests. Not that they're wrong. Any of them and all of them may have their own purposes, but their special interest has money and promotes it, has their money and they promote it, and they fight against each other, and they'll say whatever they have to say to get that seat, to change the legislation or pass the legislation to get done what they think is important. But they can't do any of it. They can't make any change in a positive way unless we, the people, are involved. They can force it and shove it down our throat, but at some point, the net result may be not evolution, but revolution. It's like some point the cup is so full, the bowl is so high that things happen in the community. Who knows when someone's taken a car? Is that an organized gang? Is that an individual? Who would have the nerve to go into a fully lit senior center and steal a car? Right? First of all, let's see the cameras. Are there cameras? I don't know. Maybe there will be now. But again, they stole a car in the middle of the night, and I've seen security people there 11:30, 12 o'clock. I've seen them. And then you don't see them again. So if you know what these schedules are and you're watching these places, they become a beautiful place for you to do your thing. If you're a crime team, thinking about it, we had a light put on outside our property because the no light in that area at the fringe of the golf course, Kaului, they were stripping cars and breaking down cars and taking a piece right across from the senior center. All the people that were on the other side of the fence that had this happening in their backyard every night for years. It was ridiculous. They need another light. They need why? Because things are out of control. See what I mean? There aren't enough people to be watching, to take care of what's happening in the park, to be able to look and see who's stealing at night. We all have to be more involved. I'm not looking for a vigilante group. I'm looking for people to be involved and be present. And if there's something that you can help in situations, please help. I shouldn't be running around from Kahului all the way to South Kihei and all the way back and have nowhere to put the dogs and have to spend the whole night going back and forth out there, and in the same night have a car stolen 3 places from my parking stall while my car is out on the street with 2 dogs in it overnight. This is crazy. So please, people of Maui, I implore you, you want to bring tourism back? All these things that are going on need to be improved. How about the fact that I don't want to blame Tom Cook, because obviously he's not to blame, but the council person that represents all of us, but is based in South Maui, the way people think Tom Cook represents South Maui, he represents all of us, but he's the South Maui residing rep. Tom, why don't you lead a campaign to get the police presence, please, more? And many have told me, and I don't have any way to prove it, so I'm not putting it out, but it has been said that some of the police are corrupt. Can you believe that? And that the drugs that are going around, they know about, and they know where it's happening, and they know that it's happening. I don't want to believe that. And I'm sure John Pelletier, our chief, he's busy as a coroner, he's busy as a chief, he's busy running, again, with his team, an understaffed police department. He needs all of us to be aware and awake and help to get some of these issues resolved, I'm breathing and going, wow, I think I should take a break. We are on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui, here in downtown Kahului, Maui. And we're simulcast on Akaku, Maui Community Media, used to be called TV for old guys like me. That's channel 55 on cable. And on your phone, whether it's an Apple phone or an Android or the other stuff, Maui Stream, where you can get all 3 channels of Akaku, plus the radio station. And you can also find our show at youtube.com/@Dream Maui and the number 1, or MauiNeutralZone.com. Now, if you're not tired of all those ways to get us, realize when you get there, watch a show. Watch more than one show. Share them. Let people know about us, because the biggest thing going on, is people don't see and hear Akaku. People don't know about what we're doing here. And I'm not an expert marketer with a deep pocket. Whenever I try to look into it, I get inundated with sales calls. They all want to sell me marketing services for hundreds and thousands of dollars. That's not what we're talking about. We can share it. Every time you see something you like, share it. Share it with people you know. Share that link with people you know. Keep sharing it. And share outside of Maui as well as inside of Maui. We don't want to only be isolated, do we? Don't we want to get people coming from all over the world to see our art and music and this beautiful Hawaiian culture that we choose to elevate? Remember, Dreammakers Foundation, Maui Arts and Music Association doesn't do anything. It's all the different organizations. I call it affiliate. When we have a Hawaiian group doing something, under our banner, that just means we're going to be promoting it to the world as Mama and Papa and Maui art, Maui music, and Dream Makers Foundation. People aligned in positive action to regenerate our island after a crisis and bring important technologies that can elevate our self-sustainability to a point where we are a huge example to the world of what can be done without increasing revenue, except ourselves learning to give more back into the community. You know, the church used to say, well, if you give us 10%, we will use that 10% and we ourselves will tithe back to the community the things that we support and that nourish us. Well, I say that to all of Maui. If we all give 10% or more, I chose to give 60% because I want to see a lot of money running through, but I don't want to lose my housing. So as we're going, I'm going to find my way. So this program is independent of me in different ways, but you got to start. And if I need matching funds, I'd rather earn them as I sell real estate to people that have $1 million homes and more, 20 million, 10 million, or if they know the house they want, they know the agent they want, again, come to us. We will set and arrange through our brokerage to pass it to that other agent and brokerage and make a referral fee. And 60% of it is going to go into rebuilding our community, regenerating Maui. That is regeneration. It's saying, how do I take what I have and use it? The things that we do that are looking for outside, people often talk about that in spirituality, that we're looking outside of ourselves for the answer. We're looking for God out there, when in fact, God, we're a piece of God too. And if we look and reflect from within, you know, there's a guy that's on here Thursdays at 11. Maybe you're watching. Emanon the Wanderer. He is here Thursdays, I think it is, at 11 o'clock. Well, he was the guest speaker at our church, and he hit it right on the head. When you go within, you don't go without. When you go within, you gain so much. And what do you find in there? Love, compassion, caring, giving. That's why I really appreciate Lisa Darcy and Share Your Mana. Selfless helping of people that need help. We should have more people helping so that the homeless have choices. All the churches should be reaching out and developing their own personal commitment to people to help them. Our community has the resources to be able to help them, not our government. The government is only picking up the overflow of what we aren't doing for ourselves, right? Many people say, we don't need the government to help us. We'll help ourselves. When you say that, don't you also mean and help our community? If not, you might look at rethinking that model. Because our community is the strength of what we do. Our community is the voice. Our community and the health of our community, black, white, green, Hawaiian. I just put that in to make sure that Hawaiians are with us because we are with them. Sometimes I know that the leadership, white folks like me get involved and others, and the Hawaiians may feel a little bit uncomfortable that this person that isn't part of it is angry. We're angry too that this happened to you. And we all want to make it right. We all want to make things just. I don't know any countries where 100 years after overthrow that someone said, oh yes, let's give it back. I don't see that happening. But I do see that there are areas here in Hawaii, You guys have identified Molokai and Koalave. Could be more, but that could be developed, made into really beautiful, self-sustained places. Molokai and its independence has been a leader in that independent Hawaiian. We are proud of who we are, and we are not going to let the outsiders take over. And they've really done quite a job there. The Sheraton got out. It looks like a ghost town out there. Well, all this can be done and developed, and things can be made better, even usable, if we all learn how to cooperate. But that means that individuals that have great wealth need to reconsider what they're doing with it. You may want to give it to your grandchild so he can get all the things he needs in his life. I understand you want to help him. But I always thought it was interesting that when you hear Bill Gates says, I'm not going to turn my kids into skrillionaires because it makes them impotent. Larry Ellison, you bought. Maybe your son bought. I don't know where he got the money except you, Daddy. You bought Paramount and CBS. I hope you're not going to give away the store. Intel, 10% to the government for an $11 billion money from the government and promises. We have to be super careful. We're at the precipice of a very big change that's going on right now. And if we don't all come to grips with how to cooperate and help everyone, and not just be our special interest groups, it's not unreasonable to think that things are going to get worse quick. And there's lots of things that we can't and don't control. That's the way it is. But what we do control, we can make better. We can help a James Hutchins get to the hospital when he's having a massive, major infection. People around me said, no, they'll just let him out. They let other people out. They must have thought it pretty bad because Maui Memorial, we all know, is crowded. But they kept him overnight. And they have intravenous antibiotic, and when I had left, he's already had 3 bags of saline. This guy needs help. This guy needs help. If you can help, if you have a place, he's also a really good landscape guy. He could be watching a property. I know him for 25 years. He's a responsible guy, honorable guy. The fact that I heard that he was arrested for terroristic threatening, and I only heard that through his brother, who was called when they booked him, because the brother was called and then they gave him my number. I'm not a magic man. I'm just someone who's here talking truth and talking love, because that's what I know to do. Talk about love. Talk about caring. When I made the decisions to not run politically years ago, I really was thinking that having run politically, that the people now would be listening more to what I'd say, because I now wasn't political and I was using this awesome platform called public access television to put out balanced and good ideas. I even interviewed for 16 election cycles. That's a long time. At my own steam, not part of Akaku, not part of any group interviewing candidates. I called the candidates and said, hey, you open to do an interview for an hour? And a lot of them early on said, no, thank you. Well, we'll take your name. And very few did. Only the people that weren't in office. None of the ones in office did. And then Joe Suki, who I still believe is a great man. We need to bring him back because I believe he could help us solve some of these issues right now. That's another subject for another day. Because of this sexual harassment stuff, without trying it, I know I've touched someone on the back of the neck talking to them. For someone to take that and blow it into something and blow a politician out of the water because they're afraid of what? The time to retire and don't want to get dragged in the mud. But Joe Suki had a lot of answers because he made me understand that as Speaker of the House, he learned how to negotiate and how to make this thing work to get the things we want. I really appreciated him. He made it much more clear, the job of a leader. How does a Mike Johnson there in the House of Representatives, or how do they deal with all the figuring out how to coordinate everybody? Quite a job. Well, Joe Suki did it here for years, and even after he wasn't Speaker of the House and he was Speaker Emeritus, he always had a lot to say. He always was involved. And his time before, when he was running MEO, Maui Economic Opportunity, right? That's the training ground that Gladys Bissa came up on. Gladys Bissa followed Joe Suki. And Gladys Bissa passed the baton forward. You know, Debbie Kabibi and the whole thing going on now all came out of the roots that were set up by people that were super involved. Joe Suki. People talk about the times of Elmer Cravalho when right on the ground they were taking care of things. They were handling it. Next one in was Linda Lingle. I'm sorry. Linda was a political, maybe still, political animal trying to deal with everything, but not only locally interested. And a lot of her energy and a lot of the decisions that were made, we see were long-term growth in the tourism industry, but again, by not focusing and drawing the line for affordable housing, we didn't get affordable housing. And then we had the Kimo Apana, Alan Arakawa years, and Charmaine Tavares. I'm sorry. In my opinion, having come from somewhere else, I've seen these problems that we think are huge here handled. They have to be handled creatively, like what I brought up. I haven't begun to implement that program, but with your help, you also can be a sponsor and be involved and lead others to join with us. Imagine now that we can promote art, music, culture, employ our people, get all these people known and get them marketed through the Mama and Papa website, bring money in independently, also bring money in from real estate commissions. Wow. So someone who buys a $20 million house is contributing to rebuilding Maui so that we can have a more robust activity level, so that more people will realize Maui is back, Maui is alive. Huh? We can do it all. We can do it all. You know, I'm going to do this because I know that I want to. It's 11:48. We got 5 minutes, 8 minutes to go. I had someone tell me that they wrote a song. You guys may or may not know Ames Anderson by name. You should. Ames and his beautiful wife, Marianne Anderson, perform. She's a singer. Jazz was background that I recall that she was mostly before, although very talented in multiple languages. They're a Simple Pleasures band. You've seen them at the Coffee Addict, at the Chocolate Kuia Factory, all over here. Well, Ames wrote a song, and this is recorded way back when he wrote it, and this was, I'm going to put my headphones on so I can start it right. Let me just see where the headphones might be. Here they are. All right. So you be patient with me. I'm going to play this. It's called Hana Moon, and obviously it was a Hana experience. In fact, it was a Hana experience on Hamoa Beach. That's a great beach. So let's go. Let me find it and let me play it. You guys ready? Hang on a second.
Okay.
All right, so we're getting ready
Because your
and
voice is so
go.
I know. Play a little louder.
Okay. Honeymoon, oh honeymoon, reaching palms to honeymoon. You like the sand, you like the sea, you like the way back home for me. A million stars fill your skies, a million stars fill my eyes. A silence that no ears can hear. You take my heart, you take my fear. Honeymoon, oh honeymoon, reaching palms to honeymoon. You like the sand, you like the sea, you like the way back home for me. No beginning, there is no end. Another curve, another bend. Lead me there and there I'll be. So bring my love back home to me. Honeymoon, oh honeymoon, reaching palms to honeymoon. You like the sand, you like the sea, you like the way back home for me. To your night I will return, to look and listen and ever yearn for the peace you've given me, the gift of peace someday I'll be. Ooh, honeymoon, honeymoon,
Honeymoon. Well, that was demo time a couple of days after they wrote it. I'm looking forward to hearing it being played, not only by them, but by others. I never did sit and talk with John Cruz yet. I spoke to his wife, or his then a new wife. Everyone sings, "In the islands, we do it island style. From the mountains to the ocean, from the windward to the leeward side." Local song, elevated, become a classic. Honeymoon, I thought that was I hadn't really heard a song like that about Hana. Lono has a song from years ago, "Mr. Moon, Shine Your Light on This Beach." Having lived here all these years, I've learned to understand the differences in language and culture differences and what words. There might be 30 words in Hawaiian that reference different kinds of love, different kinds of all kinds of things that we don't have in English. And there are also things in English that they don't have in the Hawaiian language because it wasn't part of their culture. So all that stuff is really rich, and there's so much that we can learn from the Hawaiian culture and so much that we want to give back. Thank you for that honeymoon there, Ames Anderson. Thank you. Simple Pleasures Band. I get to enjoy singing with them once in a while at Unity Church of Maui. A shout out to Reverend Blaine Tinsley. His partner passed here recently. We're all in mourning, but bringing Blaine back. Wonderful guy, wonderful church, very open and inclusive, and just wanted to mention them here. We only have 2 minutes left. Now you know that Jason can fill up an hour of a television or radio show even when he doesn't have a guest. Isn't that crazy? I like having guests because sometimes I ramble and gets me into territory I don't know if I want to be in. I'd rather have someone here with me, so if there's any dialogue, we can look at the things with a different eye, a growing eye, stretching and seeing how I can grow to be more inclusive and be able to deliver to you, the audience, and deliver to me, deliver to all of us a better world. So I hope you'll be back with us next week. Remember, you can find us up on the web and anytime you want. You can go to MauiStream.com. Remember, you can do that through your phone. You can go to YouTube.com/@DreamMaui1. You could go to MauiNeutralZone.com. And again, every Monday at 11 o'clock on KAKU 88.5 FM, we're here. And every Monday at 11 o'clock, and every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we have shows here at 11 o'clock on Akaku. You should check them all out. So, because they're all really trying to give as our community, and it's something that I hope all of you realize you can be part of too. Well, we only have a few seconds left, so I'm going to be saying goodbye. I'm Jason Schwartz, your host. Been a pleasure to be here. Reach out and help James Hutchins, would you? Or call me, 808-874-5900, and tell me how you can help. Blessings to you. We're going to get out of here. Here goes our closing credits, so here they go. Aloha, everyone. We'll see you next week.